The Nexus arena fell silent as the Korthak's massive claws scraped against the reinforced durasteel floor. Ambassador Zektal of the Hegemony watched from his viewing box, his four eyes tracking the creature's movements with predatory interest. Below, the beast that had terrorized 3 sectors stood 15 feet tall, its obsidian carapace gleaming under the arena lights. Magnificent, isn't it? Zektal clicked to his aide, mandibles chattering with excitement. A perfect specimen. From Korth Prime. Gravity 4 times standard, atmosphere that would dissolve most species' lungs, and predators that make nightmares seem pleasant. The Korthak had already claimed 17 challengers in the past Galactic Standard month. Warriors from across known space had come to test themselves against the Deathworld beast, seeking glory and the substantial prize credits offered by the Hegemony. The Vraxian berserkers had lasted mere seconds. The cybernetically enhanced Nexus champions had managed to wound it before being reduced to scrap metal and organic paste. "Sir," his aide whispered, "the human delegation has arrived." Zektal's attention shifted to the arena entrance where a small group of beings had emerged. Humans. Those odd bipedal creatures from the recently contacted Sol system. They looked so unremarkable. Soft pink skin, no natural armor, no claws or fangs worth mentioning. Their homeworld, Terra, registered as barely habitable by galactic standards. How they had achieved spaceflight remained a mystery to xenobiologists across the galaxy. The human delegation consisted of 3 individuals. 2 wore what appeared to be formal diplomatic attire, while the third, a female with short brown hair, wore simple civilian clothing and appeared to be examining her fingernails with mild interest. "Honored delegates," the arena announcer's voice boomed across the amphitheater. "The Hegemony welcomes Terra's representatives. Do you wish to observe the Korthak demonstration, or will someone step forward to—" "I'll do it," the casually dressed human said, stepping forward without ceremony. She yawned, covering her mouth politely. "Sorry, long trip? Which one's the scary monster?" A ripple of what could only be described as confused amusement passed through the crowd of various species. Zektal leaned forward, intrigued despite himself. "Miss Sarah Chen," one of her companions hissed urgently. "This wasn't part of the diplomatic protocol." "Relax, Dave," Sarah waved him off, already walking toward the arena floor. "I grew up in Australia. How bad could it be?" The bull Korthak, sensing new prey, swiveled its massive head toward her. Its 6 limbs ended in razor-sharp claws that had torn through military-grade armor like paper. Acidic drool hissed as it hit the floor, and its roar shook the reinforced viewing windows. Sarah paused at the arena's edge, looking up at the beast, with the same expression one might use to evaluate a mildly interesting cloud formation. Looks like a cross between a mantis shrimp and a bad attitude. "Human." Zektal activated the arena's communication system. "Are you certain? This creature has killed seasoned warriors. Perhaps you would prefer to—" "Mate," Sarah interrupted. "I've had to deal with drop bears, funnel web spiders, and my ex-husband. This thing doesn't even have proper venom sacs." She stretched casually, joints popping audibly. "Besides, I haven't had a decent workout since we left Earth orbit." The arena doors sealed with a definitive clang. The Korthak wasted no time, launching itself at the small human with the speed that had caught so many challengers off guard. Its claws whistled through the air where Sarah had been standing a microsecond before. She had simply moved. Not the desperate diving roll of prey, but the fluid sidestep of someone avoiding a puddle on a sidewalk. "You're pretty quick for something your size," Sarah observed conversationally, as the beast's momentum carried it into the arena wall with a thunderous crash. "But you telegraph your moves like a drunk cricket player." The Korthak spun with surprising agility, swiping at her with its secondary arms. Sarah ducked under the strike, grabbed one of its limbs, and used its own momentum to redirect it face first into the ground. The impact cracked the reinforced flooring. In the viewing box, Zektal's aide was frantically checking the arena's environmental systems. "Sir, gravity is definitely at standard. The creature's mass readings are normal. How is she?" "I don't know," Zektal murmured, all 4 eyes fixed on the impossible scene below. The Korthak, now genuinely enraged, began its killing frenzy. a berserker state that had claimed its last 3 challengers in less than 10 seconds. It became a blur of chitin and fury, attacks coming from multiple angles with deadly precision. Sarah weaved between the strikes like she was dancing to music only she could hear. When the beast overextended, she delivered precise strikes to what were apparently pressure points in its exoskeleton. When it tried to corner her, she used the arena's walls like stepping stones, maintaining her casual demeanor throughout. "The thing is," Sarah said, landing lightly after using the creature's own head as a springboard, "you're built for hunting prey that can't think their way out of problems." She paused to retie her shoe while the beast recovered its balance. "Humans? We're pursuit predators. We don't just think. We think about thinking." The Korthak's next charge was met by Sarah grabbing its primary limbs and, impossibly, lifting the multi-ton creature over her head before slamming it down onto its back. The arena shook with the impact. "Sarah," her diplomatic companion called from the entrance, "you're showing off." "Sorry," she called back, then looked down at the dazed creature. "You done, mate? Because I've got a diplomatic dinner to attend, and I still need to shower." The Korthak, lying on its back with its limbs twitching feebly, made what could only be described as a whimpering sound. Sarah helped it roll back over with surprising gentleness. "No hard feelings, eh? You're a good scrapper. Just picked the wrong species to mess with." She patted what might have been its head. "Humans didn't climb to the top of Terra's food chain by being the biggest or the strongest. We got there by being too stubborn to quit and too clever to fight. Fair?" As she walked toward the exit, the arena remained absolutely silent. Then slowly applause began. First from the human delegation, then spreading throughout the amphitheater as thousands of beings from dozens of species acknowledged what they had witnessed. Zektal sat back in his chair, his worldview fundamentally altered. Perhaps the hegemony had underestimated these harmless creatures from Sol III. Perhaps they had underestimated them by several orders of magnitude. "Sir," his aide ventured, "should we update our threat assessment of the human species?" "Update it?" Zektal watched Sarah Chen disappear through the exit, chatting casually with her companions about lunch plans. "Scrap it entirely and start over. And send a message to the Hegemony Council. I think we're going to want these humans as allies, not enemies." In the arena, maintenance crews were already assessing the damage to the indestructible flooring, while the Korthak was gently loaded onto a medical transport, its pride more wounded than its body. The galaxy had just learned an important lesson about the species from the small blue world. Never mistake quiet confidence for weakness, and never assume that the deadliest predator in the room is the one with the biggest claws.